Aviation industry unanimously nods on shifting burden of sustainable fuel onto consumers.
Fuel is our single biggest cost. This year we estimate our fuel costs will represent 31% of our cost base. Sustainable aviation fuel is more expensive than jet kerosene today. And there's no real market, but it's at least 3 times more expensive. So those costs cannot be borne by the industry, given the wafer-thin margins the industry has. So as the costs increase, as we transition to net zero, I'm sorry, but we will do everything we possibly can as an industry to keep our costs under control. But ultimately, costs will increase, and those costs will have to be recovered, and that will probably, in all probability, lead to an increase in the cost of air travel. I just don't see how we can do it any different way to that.
It's not so much the cost of doing that, it's actually getting there. How are you going to get feedstock? How are you going to get the incentives for the multinationals to build the refineries or convert old refineries to doing something with animal fats or hydroprocessed stuff, which again has its own issues with regard to the footprint and what you're doing with those. The governments have got to be stronger about how they do this, recognising the difficulty of getting it done and scaling that down until we get to the point where you can actually introduce some kind of science to produce green hydrogen. And even that requires huge amounts of power. But if we can cross that river in the 2030s and 2040s, scale that, but that requires a lot of power just to do that, then you can start seeing the cost falling per litre of fuel. But at the moment, we've got a long journey ahead, and it's difficult, and it'll be expensive. But our main goal is to try and get the amount of SAF into the aviation industry at the levels that everybody wants, the consumers want, the governments want, and that's not an easy task.
Where we're already paying such a margin on conventional fuel, if SAF comes at 3-4 times more than the regular fuel, the cost will have to be passed on. And for African airlines, fuel is not the 31% that Willie is talking about, it's 35 to 40%. So someone will have to take the hit on that.
Tourism Authority of Thailand discusses the motive behind its recent collaboration with dnata Travel.
dnata, the travel agent, they are big. I think they are one of the big travel agents for GCC. We have been discussed with dnata that we're going to offer, we're going to get them survey of the new places up north, because I know that GCC, the population of the popular destination is up down south, Phuket, Krabi, Phang, but we're going to offer them to go up north and to go to other region, because they also have many good things, but they also have the beautiful thing, much do thing in Thailand, up north also.
Gulf Air has launched its newest seasonal flights to Rhodes, Greece.